The sun peeked over the hills. It was early morning. The Sea of Galilee sparkled. Fishermen were tired. They had fished all night, but they had caught no fish. One boat belonged to Simon Peter. Jesus was with him. Jesus began to teach the people on the shore. The crowd grew larger. Everyone wanted to hear Jesus. Jesus stepped into Peter's boat. It was an ordinary day by the Sea of Galilee, and Peter, a seasoned fisherman, was tending to his nets after a long night of fruitless fishing. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden hue over the calm waters. He asked Peter to push out a little from the shore. Peter, though tired, obliged. He had seen Jesus perform miracles and teach with authority, and there was something compelling about this request. Then Jesus sat down and kept teaching. The crowd gathered on the shore, eager to hear his words. His voice carried over the water, clear and powerful, as he spoke of the kingdom of God and the love of the Father. When he finished speaking, Jesus turned to Peter. There was a moment of silence, the kind that holds a promise of something extraordinary. "Go out into deep water," Jesus said. His words were simple, yet they carried a weight of expectation. Peter, though puzzled, began to row towards the deeper part of the lake. "Let down your nets for a catch." Peter was confused. He had just spent the entire night fishing without success. The idea of catching fish now in the daylight seemed unlikely. "Master," he said, "we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything." Peter was a fisherman. He knew fishing. He knew the best times and places to cast his nets. His experience told him that this was not the right time, but he also knew Jesus. He had seen him heal the sick, give sight to the blind, and even raise the dead. There was something about Jesus that inspired trust and faith. "But because you say so, I will let down the nets." With a deep breath, Peter cast his nets into the water, ready to witness what would happen next. Top with fish. The sheer number of fish was staggering. The boats were so full that they could barely stay afloat. The boats began to sink low in the water. The weight of the fish was almost too much for them to handle. It was a sight to behold, a true testament to the blessings they had received. Peter's heart was filled with awe. He was astonished. He fell on his knees before Jesus and said, "Go away from me, Lord, I am a sinful man." Peter knew that this miracle was from God. Jesus smiled kindly at Peter and said, "Don't be afraid, Simon. From now on you will fish for people." Peter and the other fishermen pulled their boats ashore. They had been out on the water all night, casting their nets and hoping for a good catch. The sea had been unkind, and their nets were empty. Tired and disheartened, they were ready to call it a day. But then, something extraordinary happened. A man named Jesus approached them and called out. He invited them to leave their boats and follow him. Without hesitation, they left everything behind and followed Jesus. They knew that Jesus was special. There was something about him that drew them in, something that made them believe he was the one they had been waiting for. Jesus wanted them to help him tell others about God. He spoke with wisdom and authority, and his words touched their hearts. He taught them about love, compassion, and the kingdom of God. He wanted them to be fishers of men. Instead of catching fish, they would now be reaching out to people, sharing the good news and bringing them closer to God. Jesus wants us to follow him too. Just like the disciples, we are called to leave behind our old ways and follow his teachings. He wants us to help others and tell them about his love. By showing kindness, compassion and love to those around us, we can be fishers of men in our own lives, spreading the message of hope and faith.